Hey up, it's Steve, that old Yorkshire geek, and welcome to part 5 of my series where I look at each episode of classic Star Trek from the original series all the way up to Enterprise and give my thoughts on each episode. Of course, we're on part 5, that means we're up to Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1. So I don't know how many episodes we've got to look at here, I can't remember. Is it 26 or 25? I can't remember. 26 episodes. Oh, blimey. That's if you count Encounter at Farpoint as 2 episodes, but I don't. So 25 episodes then to look at, which makes it sound a bit better. Anyway, before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. If you're a member, you can join us in the live chat. Explore the description for various links for merch, which I'm not wearing again because I keep forgetting because I'm stupid. What else? Other stuff. My books. Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and thingamabob. Silent Predator, a short horror novella about big cats eating people in the North Yorkshire village. And Windgrace, all he does is complain about the ads. Oh dear. Acne wash ads. It might be targeted advertising, Windgrace. I don't know. Anyway. What else? Patreon, my Patreon, and all that stuff. Super thanks, super chats, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. Right. Right. We should be live. We should be live on YouTube. There we are. What did that say? Sorry, there was a thing about ads there. What did that say? I've pressed a button. I don't know. Don't know what I've done. I've pressed a button that says delay until ads, so you might get an ad in 10 minutes. I don't know. I don't know what I've done. Anyway, whatever. Can I press it again and make it go away? Yes, I can. Right. I forgot what I was saying now. Right, we're live on YouTube. We should be live on Rumble, so I'll just refresh that. See if it comes on. Just give it a minute. Yes, we're live on Rumble, and we should be live on Twitch. It's not come on. Hang on, let me have a refresh of that as well. Yes, and we're live on Twitch as well. Right. He says he's just kidding about the acne wash ads. Anyway. Right, so, Season 1 of Next Generation. This were a big thing, for me anyway, it was, when it started. I was 20 years old. That's how old I am. I was 20 when TNG started in 1987. But I don't think we got it in the UK till a couple of years later. It might be 1989 before we started seeing it, so I was even older. Started buying the VHSs. I've actually got Encounter at Farpoint over there. I should have got it out, shouldn't I? I'm going to go get it now. Sod it, we're live, I don't care. So just bear with me. Windgrace, do your girl from Ipanema. If I can get to it. I can't see. It's here somewhere. Just a minute, I need my torch. Just a minute. Down here somewhere. Where the heck is it? Why is it not there? Can't find it. It's not where I thought it was. Oh, that's poo. I bet it's behind then. I bet it is. Oh, never mind. It's not where I thought it was. I'll try and dig it out for next time for season 2. I know it'll be too late, but anyway, it's one of the few VHSs I've held on to. Anyway, right. So TNG, right. The now famous cast, Sir Patrick Stewart, as he is now. I am older now than he was when he started doing this. I think he was 49 or something like that when he started doing TNG. So, there you go. But I've got more hair than him. Patrick Stewart as Captain Jean-Luc Picard, who's supposed to be French, but he's English, isn't he? What else? Oh God, I'm blanking on names. I'm useless. Jonathan Frakes, of course, as Commander William Riker. LeVar Burton, who's probably LeVar Burton and Will Wheaton. Sorry, Will Wheaton. Oh, hang on. I've got my thing, haven't I? Just bear with me. Where is it?
Will Wheaton.
There we go. LeVar Burton and Will Wheaton are probably the two most famous actors in this series. LeVar Burton famous for, at the time, probably famous for his role in Roots. He'd done other stuff as well. And Will Wheaton had done a couple of films, notably Stand By Me, which I think came out before this, I think. Denise Crosby as Lieutenant Tasha Yar. Michael Dorn as Lieutenant Junior Grade Worf. Gates McFadden as Beverly Crusher, Dr. Beverly Crusher. Marina Sirtis as Counsellor Deanna Troy. Brent Spiner as Lieutenant Commander Data. And that's the main cast, the main ensemble that we would stick with for 7 years, apart from Denise Crosby, as we'll see later, and Will Wheaton. But anyway. Right, so we'll get on with it, shall we? We'll get on with it. We'll just dive in and I'll give you my thoughts on each episode. Right, so here we go. I forgot what buttons to press. There we go. Here it is. Now we begin with the old titles, the old intro that just lasted a season, which is quite cool, I must admit. There you go, Space, the Final Frontier. There's the cool new Enterprise, the Galaxy class USS Enterprise NCC 1701D, which I really like. And Colum was there. Yes, we'll see him in a bit as an unnamed. I think he's got Lieutenant Pips on this. They didn't know what to do with him, did they? But anyway. So we begin. We're off. Right. Here we are. Here's Captain Jean-Luc Picard aboard the USS Enterprise and is looking round his new ship because it's fresh out of space dock. William Riker's not on the ship yet, and he says a weird thing. Does Captain Picard? Here we go. I'm informed. He says there's the crew are missing from the ship, but they're gonna encounter. They're heading for Farpoint, which is orbiting Deneb 4. I was on Deneb 4, and they said they're missing a few key positions, including a first officer. But then he says, "But I'm informed that a highly experienced man, one Commander William Riker," as though he doesn't know who he is. But obviously does, because, he asked for him to be, he wasn't just assigned to the Enterprise. Picard picked his crew, didn't he? But anyway. And also the Doctor, Beverly Crusher's not there yet. And Geordie as well. They're at Farpoint Station. But Denise Crosby's there as Tasha Yar, and Worf's there, and there's Troy, and there's Data, and there's this other fella whose name I can't remember. But anyway. Right, so they're on the way. I presume they're heading at warp. I don't know. I can't actually remember. But something stops them. Something appears in their path, like a big energy field. So, and then we get our first view of there he is, of Q. There he is, appearing as, I don't know, Christopher Columbus or something like that. But we get his first inkling of his powers. Thou mayst call me the Q. I don't know why he made this mistake. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Getting his facts wrong. He's supposed to be all-knowing, isn't he? But anyway, he freezes this poor con officer, whose name I can't remember. I bet Windgrace knows his name. But he freezes him. But he's not dead. They thaw him out in sick bay. Anyway, so they decide to run away. So that's what they're going to do. After Q changes his guise a few times. I said the great John Delancey as Q, who would pop up several more times. But anyway, they've got to make a run for it. That's what they're going to do. And then they get chased by Q, who for some reason is in a ball of energy. I don't know. But they decided they're going to separate the saucer section. So they're not wasting any time, are they? Showing off the capabilities of this new Enterprise. So Worf is going to command the saucer section and get it to safety. And the rest of for some reason, why is he taking Deanna Troi there? I don't know. You think she'd be she should stay on the saucer section with the families and everybody, keeping them calm. But no, they're taking her in the battle bridge, which is where we're going to meet O'Brien. If it shows him, it's not going to bloody show him, is it? Because I want it to. Come on, where is he? It's not going to show him, is it? There's Worf in command of the saucer section. There we go, saucer separation, which is cool. There he is. There's Colin Meaney as in a red shirt. That's what they didn't. And he's an unnamed lieutenant. I think that's they call him lieutenant in this, but they don't give him a name. Is he? Did they show him in not Counterfort, All Good Things? I can't remember. It's a long time since I've seen that, and it's the very last episode of season 7. Does it say he's O'Brien in that? I don't know, but anyway. Or does it gloss over that? Anyway, so the saucer section's bogged off. So now they're going to turn round and deal with Q. But hang on, yes, they use him in that episode. Right, fair enough. So they turn round, but then Q transports them to a courtroom, and he appears as a judge in just after the. I think it's just after the. Or was it just before the Third World War? I can't remember. It's the post-atomic horror, isn't it? So it's just after the Third World War. So it must be, in between the Third World War and Zefram Cochrane doing his first warp flight. Picard asks him to do some stuff because he knows he will turn into a brilliant engineer. Shoehorning that in. Anyway, so it's putting humanity on trial. Oh, I freezes Deanna, Tasha Yar. But anyway, so he decides to put humanity on trial. Then we're at Farpoint on Deneb 4, beyond which lies the great unexplored mass of the galaxy. Even though I think they've been in the original season, they've been to Deneb 5. I'm sure it was. It might be Deneb 4. I can't remember. But anyway. This is where we meet Jonathan Frakes as Commander Riker. There he is. And there's the lovely Gates McFadden, who doesn't shake hands at conventions. She might do now, I don't know, but she fist pumps. And Will Wheaton as her son, Wesley. Shut up, Wesley. Anyway, they see weird things are going on. She buys some cloth for something. It's going to show it here. There you go. And she says, this would be lovely with gold, because it was just plain before, if it shows us. It's not going to show us, is it? Never mind. It'll be lovely with, and then magically gold appears, so something amiss is going on, and Wesley says, that gold wasn't there. And no, but anyway, Riker beams up to the Enterprise, because the drive section of the Enterprise has arrived. So he beams up and introduces himself to the captain, and he shows him what's happened with Q and all that stuff. And then he says, Commander Riker will sort out the rejoining of the ship, the recoupling of the... it's not landing on the cool special effects, is it? It does this to bloody... Look, always lands on people. There we go. That's what I'm wanting to see. So they recouple the primary and secondary hulls, and it's all cool and all that stuff. And then, right, so it's where we learn about Geordie being blind. He was born that way, and so he wears his visor so he can see in various wavelengths. Right, so, this is where we get the cameo of DeForest Kelly as Admiral McCoy, who's just there for no real reason. Supposed to be looking over the medical facilities on the Enterprise. It's just have a throwback in it, a call back to the original series, a passing of the torch and all that, which is fair enough. Deanna's sensing something weird on the planet. She doesn't understand what is going on. There's sadness. Anyway, they go down, they meet Groplazorn. And there he is with his mad hair. Kind of looks a bit like my hair. But he suggests, because Picard's curious about what's going on Deneb for Groplazorn's like saying, well, if you don't want this station that we've built, maybe the Ferengi would like it. And Picard says, oh, well, go ahead. Maybe they'll find you as tasty as their previous partners. Because the Ferengi were supposed to be the new big bad guys for Next Generation, but it kind of didn't work out that way, did it? So, anyway. He goes to meet Commander Data on the holodeck, and he seems quite amazed about this holodeck, as though it's something new. But I think they'd had them for a while, hadn't they? But anyway, or maybe the Enterprise holodecks are just a new design. So they're going to go and explore the tunnels underneath Farpoint Station. Deanna's freaking out because she's so sad, and the upshot of it is. It's a life form that's down there. And it captures Groplazorn, is torturing him. And then they realise that there's another ship is appearing in orbit, and it starts shooting at they're called Bandy, whatever they call them. The people who live there start shooting at the old city, not Farpoint Station. That's why Data's all, because they've been caught in a blast. So, basically, they do the right thing and they give energy. They realise what's going on. Farpoint is not a station built by the Bendy, whatever they call them. And it's a life form that can create matter from energy, like a replicator or a holodeck. So they give it energy and they let it... turn back into its normal self. The Bandy had captured it because it were injured, and they were just giving it enough energy to to stay alive, and they were forcing it to do their will. So anyway, so they give it enough energy so it could turn back. There we go. Turn back into a big jellyfish, and one's blue and one's red, and they go off into space, never to be seen again. Or maybe those jellyfish that we saw in Picard Season 3, maybe they're related to these, I don't know. But anyway, so that's Encounter at Farpoint. And then Q reappears and says, whatever, you worked it out, but the trial never ends, and you'll probably see me again someday, which we will. And she's saying something, I feel great, joy and all that stuff. So they go, right, we're off. Next mission. So that's Encounter at Farpoint. I really like it. They were the parents in Picard Season 3. Was that said on screen? Or is that something that somebody else has said? I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, it's a good pilot episode. It had to be extended. It turned out it wasn't long enough, and the suit told Gene Roddenberry, we need more to it. It needs to be, a feature length, hour and a half. So that's when Gene Roddenberry came up with Q, obviously, because Gene Roddenberry loves his godlike aliens, doesn't he? So, but luckily, Q became super popular, and mostly probably because of John Delance's charisma. It was said in my wildly popular theory video. Well, that's fair enough then. But anyway, so there we go. So that's Encounter at Farpoint. A good opening adventure for the crew of the USS Enterprise. Season 1 gets a bad rap, in my opinion, and Season 2 as well. saying that they're not very good, but there are some episodes that are not very good. But for the most part, they're pretty entertaining episodes. Anyway, so we move on to the next episode, which is essentially a remake of an original series episode. This one's called The Naked Now, and it's basically just a remake, a retreading of The Naked Time from the original series. And this in a series that Gene Roddenberry kept wanting to, distance itself from the original series for some reason. So we don't see many Vulcans. The only Klingon we see for a long time is Worf. We see some more later on, and all that. But they keep throwing in these mentions of the original series. Actually, we saw McCoy earlier on. But anyway, so the Enterprise it comes across the a science vessel, the USS. I've forgotten. Oh, I'm hopeless. Anyway, all the crew's dead. It's going to tell us. The beam on board. It's monitoring a star that's about to go nova. But anyway, it's nice to see I think it's an Oberth class ship, isn't it? There we go. Yes, it's nice to see the Oberth class still being used. Like the Excelsior class. We saw an Excelsior class, by the way, in the first episode, the USS Hood. It's nice to see they're still being used. Of course, this is in the 24th century, in 2364, I think it's set in. But anyway, they see the ship is very disorganised and messy. It's as though the crew were having a wild party. There we go, that's what it says there. Anyway, it turns out something had happened to them, and they'd all gone crazy. And there we go. And basically killed each other in various ways. As though they just got really drunk and just didn't care. And the bridge, what they call it, airlock, whatever you want to call it, emergency hatch, that's it, on the bridge had been opened, and so all the bridge crew had been blown out into space, not sucked out, they'd been blown out into space, and then she'd frozen herself, and anyway, you can tell us here the name of the ship because I've forgotten. Does it say there? No, it just says science vessel. I can't remember the name of the ship. Anyway, so they've got to work this out. And obviously Beverly Crusher does. But all the crew of the Enterprise is starting to get infected. It's by touch. If somebody touches you. And it's, I don't know, some molecule or something, I don't know, that affects them. And it gives them, lose their inhibitions. And you can see, I think she's affected is Tasha, because she's sweating. Anyway, so this is the episode where she seduces Data, and Picard and Beverly kind of show their love for one another. But and this is where they mention, I think it might be that bit actually, where hang on, I've missed it. Is this where that it shows it that it's about? Hang on, where are we? Here we go. Talks about what it happened before in the USS Enterprise, Captain James T. Kirk and all that stuff. So anyway, so leave it to Beverly to find a cure for what's going on. But Wesley goes down into engineering, and here we see one of the chief engineers. In season 1, the Enterprise had several chief engineers. They even mentioned at some point, one of our chief engineers will join you. So this is chief engineer. Can't remember. They all have Scottish sounding names, but she's played by. Can't remember her name either. She's in Nightmare on Elm Street. The third one, I think. But is it McDougal? Is she McDougal or something like that? Or I can't remember. F's in the chat for Argyle running his mouth. He appeared several times, did Commander Argyle, didn't he? I think he was the most popular chief engineer. Was it McDougal? Something like that, her name. But they all had Scottish sounding names, didn't they? Yes. Anyway, where is he? Wesley's gone down into engineering, and him and another engineer, where is he? Have basically taken all the not duotronic, isolinear. Duotronics were the original Enterprise. This has isolinear circuits, doesn't it? Taking all the isolinear chips out, and so they couldn't do anything. And I'm not landing on the bloody things I want to see. I'm a bloody Netflix. Oh, there they are. Look, there you go. Got them on the floor down there. But the sun's about to nova, but they can't get out of there because all the things. But they said data can do it, so they get data down. But they're not going to make it in time. And but Wesley has a grand idea of using the tractor beam to push the Enterprise a bit further away. So that's what they do, using the other ship. So anyway, so obviously they make it just in time. Beverly finds a cure, goes round injecting everybody, making sure they're okay, and everything's lovely. And but the other ship gets destroyed. Are we going to miss it? Oh, there we go. The other ship gets destroyed. Something's heading for them. Is it the sun goes nova, or is there an asteroid or something? I can't really remember now. Just let me check. No, it's not show. Is it going to show it? Have we gone past it? I think we've gone past it, haven't we? But it's 10 seconds skip. A lot can happen in 10 seconds, can't it? Unbelievable. Anyway, whatever. And they save the day, and off they go to the next adventure. It's fine. It's not the best episode, and it's just a retread of another episode, isn't it? But it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. We see him let the hair down, even though it's only one episode in. But never mind. It's fine. It's a fun episode, to be completely honest. And it's showing how clever Wesley is. Even drunk, he can save the day. But anyway, right, moving on to the next one. Code of Honour, the infamous Code of Honour. Which, I don't think it's as bad as people make out. It's not good, by any stretch of the imagination. But anyway, they've arrived at this planet where they've to... this planet's got something that they need. Can't remember what. Dilithium or whatever. Oh, it's a medicine, isn't it? They've got a medicine that they need for somewhere else. So they're there for negotiations, but this fella is in charge. He wants Tasha Yar, and so there's going to be a fight. She's got to fight somebody because he wants her, and we learn that the people on the planet, it's the women. The men rule, so there's a male ruler, but the women own all the land. So the men are kind of in charge, but the women have all the money. Which is how it should be. But women having all the money, that is, because men they just blow it on, I don't know, daft hats and... oh dear. So she's got to fight to the death as Tasha Yar. And obviously, they work it all out. She does have a fight, but, it's not to the death, obviously. Everything's sorted. But they think it's to the death. But everything's hunky-dory. And he gets cross because she's not dead. And she says, no, because I don't like you anymore. So you can bog off. I'm going to go with somebody else. I own all the land. And so he loses all his power. And somebody else gets it. And there we go. And that's how it ends. It's crap. But it's not. I don't see what people are moaning about it for. They'll say it's racist. It's the racist episode. But I didn't see it that way. But it's not a good episode. And it doesn't deserve the hate that it gets. I don't think it does anyway. So that's Code of Honour. Another one that I like is next, The Last Outpost. I've got a soft spot for this one. I think it's this one and the next one because it was think it was the first of the VHSs that are bought after Encounter at Farpoint. So I like these two. Right, so the Enterprise is chasing a Ferengi ship. This is where we see his first Ferengi. And the Ferengi have stolen an energy converter device from somewhere, from a Federation outpost. So they're chasing after them, and they end up around. Hang on, there we go. They're chasing them, and they end up around orbiting the planet in the, I don't know, I can't remember the name of the system, something RDU system or whatever. And then they start having problems with power on both ships, and they're thinking it's the Ferengi are thinking it's the Enterprise, and it turns out it's not, it's coming from the planet. But so where we see his first Ferengi vessel, and so there we go. So they've got to work out what's going on, because they soon find out that it's a force from the planet that's draining both ships of energy, and they also have this this silly thing. Hang on, have I gone past it? It might be coming up, where Data gets his fingers stuck in a Chinese finger puzzle. They can't work it out, and for some reason it becomes a plot point, and I don't. It's basically showing that, I think they use that as an idiom for, the right answer is not always the obvious answer. Because to get out of a Chinese finger puzzle, you don't pull, you push, don't you? But anyway. Right, so the beam down to the planet, but obviously the Ferengi can't be trusted. Oh, there he is with his Chinese finger puzzle. Oh, and they have this holographic display that I don't think they use again. There's this holographic display there on the table. And I don't recall us seeing it again. They're just stuck with doing presentations on the screen, obviously to save money. Anyway, so they're going to beam down. There we go. That's showing the what's going on, the energy from the planet. And we learned that it was an outpost of the Tekon Empire, which we meet those again in I forgot the name of the bloody game, the Star Trek game. What do they call it? What did it call? Regeneration? I think it was, wasn't it? The game Star Trek Regeneration. We meet the Tekon Empire again in that. But anyway, there we go. We get us first look at the Ferengi. So they're going to beam down and cooperate to get out of this problem. But obviously, the Ferengi can't be trusted, and here they are. And they use their laser resurgence. That's it. I've played it. It's on me. It's on the channel. Yes, Star Trek Resurgence, Regeneration. So where we see them using their energy whips. See if I can land on it. Probably can't. Here it is. Look there, the energy whip. We don't see that a huge amount. We see it once or twice throughout the course of the series, but not very often. Pretty soon we see Outpost, whatever it is, 6-3 or whatever it's called. Guardian, the Guardian of the Tekon Empire. He appears. Look, there he is, and he tests them. And Riker passes the test, and suddenly he's best friends with us. And obviously they can't trust the Ferengi because they're all. He's supposed to be the big bad, to replace the Klingons. The rubbish. This is where they also mention that, they talk about, because they see Tasha Yar say, "Oh, you clothe your females." So that's where we learn that Ferengi women go around in the nude, apart from Moogie and that other one from Deep Space Nine. But anyway, so that's it. Riker passes the test, and he's suddenly best friends with. For some reason, he reminds me of Christopher Walken. For some reason, I don't know why, he just does. With the Guardian, and releases the ship, and then that's it. And they beam over a box of finger puzzles to the Ferengi, so they all stuck now in the finger puzzles. Or they're just thinking, what are these? I don't know. But anyway, off they go to the next adventure. I like the last outpost. I like it. There is Geordie's got his fingers stuck in the finger puzzles. I've never seen them before. This is the only place I've seen a Chinese finger puzzle. I've never seen one in real life. I've never seen one on anything else ever. So I'm guessing they're a real thing. But I like the last outpost. I've got a soft spot for it. And the episode that's coming up next as well. I think it's the next episode. But last outpost is fun. Next up, I think, yes it is, where no one has gone before. Again, another reference to the second pilot from the original series. It's another nod, because that was called Where No Man Has Gone Before, and that's kind of has a similar premise to that, where the Enterprise goes somewhere and weird things happen. We don't get a crewman turned into a godlike being, but anyway. I played with them all. Rough time as a kid. I've never seen one. I've never seen a Chinese finger puzzle in real life. But anyway. Right, so they're here with the USS something or other. Don't ask me what it is. They're going to tell us. USS Fearless. There it is. A Excelsior class ship. And they're beaming over a couple of specialists. One called Kaczynski and his assistant, who we will come to know as the Traveller. So they're beaming over. They're going to try and improve the engines on the Enterprise, which apparently is done on the Fearless. So that's what they're going to do. Yes, Princess. Can I help you? My cat just meowed at me. So anyway. Riker says, I went over Kaczynski's notes, equations. He says it's meaningless, it shouldn't do anything, and they put it through simulations, and said it didn't do anything to the engines, but they're going to give it a go anyway. They're going to let him have a faff with the Enterprise's engines, and there's Kaczynski and his assistant, and he's got this. I don't know if we saw this again. Hang on, see if I can see it without. That big line in the way. Probably won't. But he's very sure of himself, is Kaczynski. Anyway, if we see him again. Come on, let's have a close-up of him. There we go. It's where we meet... Oh, for Pete's sake. It's where we meet Argyle. There he is. Lieutenant Commander Argyle. One of the other chief engineers. With his pips, and Kaczynski's got a weird, a pip that we've never seen. I don't know if we've seen it again. Is it because he's like a mission specialist? But he's obviously part of Starfleet. But does he not have a Starfleet rank? I don't know. But anyway, this is the Traveller noting that Wesley's super brainy. There we go. Just see it there. He's got this little like rhombus shaped. Pip. So, don't know what rank that's supposed to be. Maybe it's just because he's a mission specialist. There it is. Look, there it is. Don't know. Never saw it again. The only other time I noticed that we've seen different pips were on Voyager for the Maquis crew. But anyway, and non-commissioned officers like Chief O'Brien, they had a different thing, but it wasn't like that. But anyway, whatever. Right, so they're going to do some tests, and the first thing they do, it all goes wrong, and the Enterprise is sent to the other side of Galaxy M33, Triangulum Galaxy. So then, crikey, it'll take us over 300 years to get back home at maximum warp. So Kaczynski says, well, I'll just do what I did last time to get us back. So, anyway... Wesley notices that while they're doing the going at super fast speeds, the Traveller phases. It goes winks out of existence and comes back. But nobody's listening to him now. Shut up, Wesley. But later, it might be this bit there, this Riker notices it happening again when they're trying to get back, and it goes wrong again, and they end up at the at the edge of the universe. There you go, going through the Stargate. Look, where weird things start happening. But where is this place? Where none have gone before, says Data. Is it going to show us? There we go. They're in this weird place that's not space and it's not matter, and it's some weird thing with stuff flying about. There may be billions of light years from where they started. Maybe. Anyway, weird stuff starts happening, and their thoughts start manifesting into reality. So Worf sees a tag, and Tasha's briefly sent back to the colony where she grew up, with rape gangs. That's what she says, because she sees a cat. Is this him seeing his tag? You're telling me it's a kitty cat? Anyway, he's going to show it. Never shows you. There we go. It's just a bloody pig, innit? That's not like Commander Krug's tag, is it, from Star Trek 3? But anyway, whatever. She sees a cat. Picard steps out of the elevator, the turbo lift, and suddenly he's in space. And oh no, it's all going wrong. So anyway, this fella, his fantasy is just to play in a string quartet with powdered wigs. Anyway, so all this weird stuff's happening. Then we see his Picard sees his mother. There she is. It's a famous actress, and I can't remember. I don't like with names. I can't remember. She was in Cocoon, and I think she was in Critters or Critters 2. I can't remember which one. But anyway, she's playing. I'm guessing it's his mother. He calls her ma mère, and that's French for mother, isn't it? I'm thinking it's not his grandmother, is it? But anyway, I think it's supposed to be his mother. But as we know from Picard season 2, his mother hanged herself, or as Patrick Stewart says, or as Picard says, she hung herself. Shakespearean actor. Anyway, so how is he seen as an old woman? I know it's all his imagination, so maybe he's imagining her as an old woman, if she hadn't have taken her own life. Or is it his grandmother? I don't know. But anyway. So that's that. So they've decided they've got to not think about random thoughts and focus on the job at hand. So they're going to try and go back. But it's up to the traveller to do it. But he's not well. But he's going to give it a go. Kaczynski's kind of humbled, by the way. He thinks, I thought it were me. But when they decide to go, the traveller says, I want Kaczynski on the control, sort of thing. He says, you want me to help? Yes, get on with it. So it kind of is him as well. He does have a part to play. So that's what they're going to do. So anyway, obviously they set off back. Meanwhile, the traveller had told Picard, he said... They keep in season 1 for some reason. They keep referring to Wesley as the boy. Look after the boy, nurture him. He's amazing. He's like Mozart and stuff like that. He's a prodigy basically. That's what the traveller tells him. So I think this might be this episode where he gets made acting ensign at the end. So anyway, the head back look. There we go, and the traveller phases out of existence, but we do see him again in season 7. I don't know if we see him before then, but we definitely see him again in season 7. And they end up back where this sleigh ride began, and then they make him an acting ensign, because that's what he's saying there. To make you acting ensign, and you'll be going off to Starfleet Academy. I said, well, why do I have to go to Starfleet Academy? You've made me an acting ensign. That's what I'd say. I've already got the rank. But anyway, so there we go. And they head off to the next adventure. I like Where No One Has Gone Before. Like I said, those 2 episodes, I have a soft spot for them because they were on a VHS that I had, which I don't think I've got that one anymore. I might have, I don't know, but anyway. So moving on to the next one is this one, Lonely Among Us. Now then, which is this one? I can't really remember. Oh, is this the one with the Sally and the other ones? That the dog aliens and the lizard aliens. Is it this one? Anyway, right. So yes, they're doing this. Is it they're at Parliament, something like that, or they're taking them to a planet called Parliament where they've to broker a peace deal. They've been at war for a million years or whatever. There you go. There's the. I can't remember the names of them, but oops. Right, so there they are. Pretty good makeup, I must admit. Pretty good makeup. Well, I think it is. Now they want to join the Federation, but obviously they've got to be at peace. They encounter that. It's going at warp speed, and there's pause. Something. They fly through it. I think it's just a weird cloud, a weird space cloud. So they fly through it, and then something obviously comes on board. Here it comes in a minute. Is it Vija? Don't know. Or not Vija. Well, yeah, it kind of is Vija. I would say the Mutara Nebula, but that was Vija, just a different colour, wasn't it? Anyway, here it comes. Something's coming into the ship. There it goes. It zaps Worf and basically takes over him. So we've got an alien that's made of energy going through the ship and causing problems. There we go. And it leaves Worf and goes into the Doctor, and she's wandering round. Oh, there's the others. Look, I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, never mind. I think they end up eating one of the lizard ones at some point. But anyway, so they've got to sort out this this alien, this energy alien. It accidentally entered the ship, and now it wants to go back to where it came from. So they take it back. They decide they're going to take it because it's there accidentally. Somebody gets killed. A red shirt gets killed, and but that was an accident. So they take it back. And everything's cool, apart from one of the lizard aliens dies, gets eaten. But whatever, they take him back to Parliament, or take him to Parliament, and I presume everything goes okay. I presume it's it's not bad. It's not one of the terrible episodes, in my opinion. Lonely Among Us, it's okay. I don't mind it, but. It's not the best. It's not the best. Moving on. This one's a terrible episode. Justice, if it's the one I'm thinking of. Is it this one? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is an awful episode. Anyway, right, they're around at this planet. They're supposed to be on shore leave or something like that. I think it's this one where they're at shore. I mean, shore leave. Captain's log, stardate 41255.6. Right, I was going to say it. Hang on, just bear with me. I'm sure it's this one where they said they're going to have some shore leave. Take this first to make contact. Or is that another episode? I can't remember. Yeah, it might be a different episode than I'm thinking of. I thought there was an episode where they were supposed to have a bit of shore leave on this planet, and then they kind of forget about that at the end. But never mind. Anyway, they beam down. They've got to this planet, and it's lovely, and they've met the people there, and they're all friendly and stuff. So I'm sure they decide to go down and do some shore leave. I'm sure they start sending the crew down. Yes, it's there. Look, isn't it? Yes, they just set up a colony on another planet. something happens with that, and I can't remember what. Because another ship appears. I can't remember. What happens. But yeah, they decide they're going to have a bit of shore leave. So but while they're there, is it this? Hang on. Wesley, their skimpy clothes. Oh, by the way, they're all as kissing, and because it's Gene Roddenberry. So season 1 is essentially all about sex. Pretty much every episode, sex is mentioned, and so they're all, it's alluded that Tasha's been intimate with this fella. Look, they're all at it. Look, there you go. Deanna's been a bit awkward. But there you go. Lots of hugging. And Wesley's there. He says, they say, I'll take you to introduce you to the children. By the way, when I first saw her, I thought, I know her face. And it's Brenda Backey. She was everywhere in the 90s, wasn't she? With amazing eyes. She's been in loads of films and TV shows, and I don't know what's happened to her since. I'm sure she's still working, but you don't see very much of her. But she was everywhere in the 90s. Anyway, so we'll introduce him to the children, and then we see the children in a minute. Go on, show us the children. So there are children here, so they go running off because everybody runs everywhere on this planet. Look at their clothes, they're bloody horrible, aren't they? Alright, these are the children. There you go. Come on, we're going off with the children. They're all bloody, like hairy chests and everything. They're about bloody 30-year-old children. So Wesley goes off with them, and he's, Anyway, so he's playing with the kids. Is this the other ship? Oh, yes, this other ship arrives. There it is, and it's kind of invisible, but we see it again later. In the series, not later in the episode. It's the I can't remember the name. That episode where that alien takes over. They wipe the Enterprise's crew's memory, and then that new officer appears, Commander. Can't remember. Kieran Duff. He appears, and he's taking them to destroy the command center for his race's enemies. Anyway, they use that model again later. But anyway, they're here because they've said that they've set up a colony on one of their planets, so they're not happy about that. But alright, and also they protect the people on this planet, so they're kind of a protector aliens or whatever. Is that Wesley doing bloody car? Was that Wesley? I don't remember seeing that bit. Let's walk on his hands, because, everything's all cool. Is he going to do that? Right. Oh, he's just doing no, he's just doing cartwheels. I thought we were doing like a flip or something like that. Anyway, the upshot of this is he ends up falling into... hang on, have I missed it? He ends up... It might be later. He ends up falling into like a little greenhouse thing. Here he goes, I think. Here he goes. Hang on. There he is. He falls into this greenhouse thing, and we learn, by the way, the episode's called Justice, that basically every misdemeanor on this planet has a death sentence. No matter what you do, you're going to get killed, you get executed, which means that there's no crime on this planet, because every crime has a death sentence, and now Wesley's just committed a crime, so they're going to execute him. So obviously they can't let that happen, but the Prime Directive stops them from interfering with this planet's laws but obviously they can't let him kill Wesley. They go down. They have the a trial and all that stuff. But the upshot of it is, they basically kidnap her and show her these other aliens. They're God to these people on the planet. But anyway, the upshot is it's sod the Prime Directive. We can't let you kill Wesley, and they basically just beam out and just leave him. Said, right, Nelly's to you. I'm sure they'll get over it. I think they have to remove the colony from that other planet. I think. I'm sure. Or does it say they can stay? I can't remember. But does it say? Can't remember. But anyway, there we go. That's justice. I think this is a worse episode than Code of Honor, to be completely honest. It's a terrible episode, in my opinion. With terrible costumes. But, yeah, give it a miss. Next up, The Battle. This is a good episode. This is a decent episode. The Enterprise is there with a Ferengi vessel. And the daemon of that ship, the captain of the Ferengi vessel, has got a gift for Picard. Picard's, by the way, been suffering from headaches. I think Damon Bock is the Ferengi, who's on this ship, and he's got a gift for Picard, and it's the Stargazer. Is it going to show it here? Hang on. Picard's got his headache. Anyway, Bock found the Stargazer, and the ship that Picard captained before the Enterprise, and they thought it were lost. Hang on, I'm trying to bloody... Is it going to show it? Come on then. When you're ready, Netflix. It's going to be a bloody day at this rate. Has it appeared yet? Tell me, has it? Where the hell is it? Where the bloody hell's the Stargazer appearing? There it is. It's not when they found it. Must have been right at the beginning when the Stargazer appeared. Oh, I don't bloody know. Anyway, so he found the Stargazer. He's given it as a gift to Picard. They thought it was destroyed at the Battle of Maxia, where Picard destroyed what turned out to be a Ferengi vessel. He didn't know it at the time, but it was a ship that just opened fire on them, and they were forced to retaliate. But his ship was badly damaged, so they abandoned ship, and they presumed it was destroyed, but it wasn't. And Damon Bock found it, so they've gone over to it, and it's still operational and all that stuff. But Picard's still got his headaches. And anyway, the upshot of it is he ends up going over to the Stargazer, and we also learn about the Picard manoeuvre, where he does a quick warp jump, and it makes the Stargazer look like it's in two places at once for a fraction of a second. But anyway, he goes over to the Stargazer. This is where we see where Bock's got this device that's doing stuff to Picard's head, which is why he's got his headaches, and it's making him relive the Battle of Maxia. And so he starts basically having hallucinations as he's seeing the crew, and he's reliving that battle. So there he is, and he's going to attack the Enterprise, and obviously they get through to him, and he destroys the ball, the device, and gets his faculties back. And there we go, and it's sorted. And Bock is relieved of duty because it's by his first officer, because he partook in unprofitable things, because he just gave the Stargazer to Picard. He didn't charge him for it. So anyway, it's a decent episode. It's nice to see the Stargazer. But which is a Constellation class starship, an old banger. So I don't know how Picard went from that to which essentially became the flagship of the Federation. I'm not sure if it is yet. I'm sure in one episode it says that the I forgot what they call it now. Another Galaxy class starship is the flagship. But anyway, we'll get there. Right, next up, Hayden Q. This is one where Q wants to give Riker. Because we come across Q again. Wants to give Riker Q powers. He wants to give a gift to the Enterprise crew. So he transports them. There we go, to a original series set, it seems, where they've got to defeat these bad guys. Anyway, so he wants to give them all a gift. Is it? Does it do it now? Is it later? It might be. Yeah, it's later on in it. Gives Riker the powers of the Q. So that's what happens in this one. But Riker says he doesn't want anything to do with it. So, he won't use the powers of the Q, but he does because he can't resist to save his friends and all that stuff. There you go. He sends them back to the Enterprise, and Q says he won't be able to resist, and so he goes back. Then they go back to the Enterprise, and Riker gets instantly all massive ego and starts behaving like Gary Mitchell basically. So it shows that he can't resist using the powers of the Q. They go to this planet and people die. There's been an accident and people die. He says, I could have used my powers to save this little girl. A kid dies. But anyway, he starts using his powers. He gives Geordi his eyes back, and he makes Wesley a grown man, and all that stuff. But they all say, no, we don't want these gifts. And Riker says, okay, well, I don't want these powers. There you go, that's Wesley grown up. And he gives Worf a Klingon woman. There she is. Basically the rebuff his gifts, and Riker says, I've been an idiot, I don't want these powers. And the Q Continuum take Q away. He's going to be punished for what he did. A bit like Trelane, I suppose. His parents whisked him away, didn't they? And then I think that's the last time we see Q, I think, in this season. He comes back in season 2, doesn't he? And we learn how they punished him. But anyway, so there we go. So that's Hyde and Q. It's not that I don't like that episode. I don't like Hyde and Q. It's poo, and I don't like that. Riker just instantly becomes a knobhead as soon as he gets Q powers. It even calls Picard Jean-Luc and all that. So I didn't know we were on first name terms, because that's how Patrick Stewart talks in real life, because he's from Yorkshire. Anyway, next up, Haven. Now, which is this one? I've just watched all these bloody episodes and I can't remember any of them. Oh, yeah. It's a Luxana Troy episode. I don't like Luxana Troy episodes. Anyway. So, what's happening with this one? They get a gift. There it is, some stupid box that talks. I don't bloody know. But Luxana Troy beams aboard. It's Deanna's going to get married to some bloke that she was betrothed to as a kid. And she's all for it. And there he is. And it looks familiar. Let's have a look. It looks familiar, does the fella. I'm sure I've seen him in other stuff, but he usually plays a baddie, if it is the same person. Where are we? Yes, it's Robert Nepper. Yes, he does usually plays baddies, doesn't he? He was in Stargate Universe, of course, yes. He's been in other stuff as well, hasn't but generally plays bad guys, doesn't he? But he's not a bad guy in this. He's a good guy. But anyway, she's betrothed to him. There, his parents, but he don't want anything to do with her really, because I think he's in love with somebody else. I think, if I remember him rightly. Were he in that as well? Were he in Dragon's Teeth? But he was Stargate Universe. He played one of the Lucian Alliance fellas, didn't he? That killed one of his own people. That woman that what's his face loved. Anyway, whatever. David Blue's character. Anyway, where are we? Right, so he's got to marry this fella that, and Riker's not happy about it, obviously, because she's his Imzadi. Also in Orville and Heroes. Yes, there's been loads of stuff, hasn't he? But he generally plays bad guys, doesn't he? Generally. They're having some sort of reception. There's Luxana Troy. We all love Majel Barrett Roddenberry, but I don't like Luxana Troy episodes. I don't. She gets on my nerves. I know she's supposed to, but anyway. Anyway, all goes wrong because he doesn't want to basically marry Deanna. But something happens, and I can't remember what. This ship appears. Yes, of course, I remember now. A plague ship appears. What do they call it? I can't remember what they call it. Is he going to tell us? Hang on. Bear with me. I forgot who it is. It's been mentioned before. Is it not Tellarian? Tyrellian. Is it Tyrellian? It's a Tyrellian plague ship. Something like that, isn't it? Hang on. Look, they're kissing, look, so that's it, they're all ready for it, but he ends up, he don't want to. By the way, yes, Tyrellian, there we go. I remember some stuff. They've got Tyrellian plague, which basically wiped out the entire population of their own planet, and the only Tyrellians that have survived are on this ship. And they've come to this planet and they want to set up a colony, like a leper colony, I suppose, just out of the way, on this other planet. And the chap, I forgot the name. Is it Wyatt Miller? He's called something like that, isn't it? Hang on, where I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yes, Wyatt Miller. Robert Nepper's character. He's been painting pictures of this woman that he doesn't know who she is, and it turns out she's on this plague ship. So obviously he falls in love with her, and he decides, there she is, that he's going to stay with them and go off with them in their ship. And Deanna says, well, I got away with that, didn't I? So she obviously doesn't have to marry him. Because he's a doctor, by the way, so he's going to help him survive this plague and stuff. And off he goes, and then, so there we go. It's where we learn that, according to Luxana, he's attracted to her. And we hear Mr. What's-his-face speak as well. Even though we've just met him, but he's not supposed to talk, is he? But he does in this. There he is, just going to talk there, look. Smile. Anyway, whatever. We'll meet her again. I'm not a fan of that episode. It's, it's a bit like, again, it's dipping into the original series well, isn't it? It's Spock and T'Pring. This one, it's, who were betrothed as kids, and this is Troy and Wyatt Miller who were betrothed as kids, and, whatever. Who gives a monkeys? Moving on. The Big Goodbye. Another one that I can't say I like it, but I can't say I dislike. I don't know. It's a weird one, is this? I think it's the first time we have a holodeck malfunction episode. So they've got a bit of time off, the time to relax, because the in between missions or something along them lines. Hang on just a minute. Where are we? No, that's all it says. Let me brief myself on the episode. Now then, something happens, and something happens to the holodeck. I can't remember what happens to the holodeck, but it malfunctions, or something makes it malfunction. But I can't remember what the B story is. Is there a B story? I can't bloody remember. Anyway, whatever. Yes, he's got to remember. Yes, they're heading to a planet for these negotiations with these insect-like creatures that we never see. But they've got to be super precise in what they say to them, or they'll be offended, and they won't talk to us again. So, but they've got to say things in a certain way. So that's what Picard's practicing there. So anyway, they've got time before they arrive there. So he thinks, right, I'm going to go to the holodeck and do some Dixon Hill stuff. So here he is, going into his Dixon Hill adventures, and there we go. So we meet what's going on in there. So he's in his mystery. Somebody's trying to kill her and all that stuff. And he's got to he's got to work out what's going on. So anyway, right. So there he is, and but he gets called away. But he goes back. They was telling them all about it, and so he goes back, and Beverly goes with him, and this basically a red shirt is like a historian, and because Beverly says, oh, you should invite me. And he says, oh, yes, come on then, Beverly. She's thinking it's going to be all romantic. And then he says, I'll invite this historian officer as well. She's like, oh, she looks like deflated. And Data arrives as well. So they go to the Dixon Hill adventure. But something happens, and I can't remember what happens. I can't remember why it malfunctions. Obviously, the Enterprise encounters something. There's Beverly arriving, but I can't remember what happens to start it malfunctioning. Does it tell us? Obviously it's going to show us, isn't it? But I forgot what it is. Come on, Windgrace, what is it? Remind me. I want to just watch the bloody thing. Data reads up all the Dixon Hill stuff. Does it say? Hang on, let me check. Just bear with me. No, it's not saying it there. Yeah, there's a glitch. What is it now? Right. The Enterprise gets scanned. Yes, some weird beam. Yes, they get scanned by the insect aliens, and that causes the glitch in the holodeck, and the historian fella gets shot on the holodeck, and not supposed to be able to get injured. He gets shot, and he's dying, but they can't get out. They can't get into the holodeck, and but obviously it all gets sorted out in the end, and they get to the planet in time. They sort the holodeck out, whatever. And they get to the planet in time. Yes, these bad guys, they leave the holodeck because they explain to him, they think they've got a whole new world to plunder. They should have just disappeared immediately, shouldn't they? But they have this little thing where they start fading away from the feet up. They just wouldn't have been able to walk out. They just... It'd be like the Doctor in Voyager. He can't leave or he couldn't until he got his mobile emitter. But if he put his arm outside sick bay, it wasn't there. It should have been like that for them. They should have just immediately ceased to exist. But anyway, whatever. Yeah, so they sort that out. They get out the holodeck, and that was really this moment here with that one of Dixon Hill's friends, who's obviously a fictional character, but he's kind of thinking now. Is life? They get a bit, a bit deep, and say, have I got a real family to go back to? When you leave here, will all that cease to exist? And Picard says, I don't know. So there you go. So it's like Tron. Is his life still going on even when the program's switched off? Anyway, whatever. Anyway, they get to the planet and he says his stuff to these insect aliens that we never see. And he says it correctly and they say, cool! Etc. And then they bugger off. What does he say? Oh, hang on. Between us. Hang on. You have honoured us. That's them saying this. With your words of greeting, a new day dawns between us. And they say, oh, cool. And then they leave. They do. It was a nice place to visit, number one. It's on about the holodeck. But, and then they go. So they've just arrived. Where are they going? Aren't they supposed to be there, to start negotiations or whatever? But no, they're sod off. They're going. Anyway, Picard should have said, frankly, my friend, I don't give a damn. But that's not. That's not 1920s. That's from Gone with the Wind, isn't it? Anyway, whatever. So there we go. So yeah, it's not the best episode. Not the best episode is The Big Goodbye. But, whatever. Moving on. Data Law. This is a decent one because we meet Law and the crystalline entity and all that stuff. So they're arriving at the colony where data were found. But I forgot what it bloody called because I'm an idiot. But Omicron Theta, there we go, Omicron Theta colony. And they find Law, and there's an episode, and I forgot which episode it is, and I'll probably not notice it, but there's an episode where Picard says to LaForge, who in season 1 LaForge is the helmsman, isn't he? It says to LaForge, warp 8, Mr. LaForge, and LaForge replies, aye sir, full impulse. I'm like, no, he just said go to warp 8, not full impulse. He's stupid. Anyway, whatever. But I can't remember what episode it was in. But anyway, maybe it's this one. Who knows? 20 minutes from Omicron Theta. Stand by for subwarp. No, it's not this one. Anyway, right, so they arrive at Omicron Theta and they beam down. There they are. Beamed out again using the old original series set. Greg Strangis, did he go on to do War of the Worlds? That series, War of the Worlds? Because that name rings a bell. I should look it up, shouldn't I? I'm going to, so I don't care. What are we on? Data Law. Creative consultant. Not going to say it, is it? Production. Why don't I just type in Greg Strangis? Or is it Strangis? I think it's Strangis, isn't it? Not Strangis. I'm just going to type it in and see what we get. So the name rings a bell. He hasn't got a Wikipedia entry by the looks of it. Oh, yes, War of the Worlds TV series, Greg Strangis. I think it was him and his dad or something that were behind it. Or maybe not. Bear with me. Oh, whatever, never mind. Yes, he did the War of the Worlds, right. Anyway, right, so they're here. They've arrived on Omicron Theta, and obviously no sign of the colony, because the colony were all wiped out by a crystalline entity. Anyway, they find Dr. Noonian Singh. Why is he Noonian? But anyway, whatever. Dr. Noonian Singh, not Khan. No, Noonian Sung, innit? Not Khan Noonian Singh, Noonian Sung. That was. Are they what they call them? Tucker things. Is that what they are? Anyway, they find Law, who's all in bits. There he is. There's his head. Look, great mould of of his head. Anyway, so they put him back together, and so no, there we go. There's Chief Engineer Argyle again. They put Law back together, and then we have problems. We learn that Data's got an off switch. There's Law smiling because he's got emotions and stuff, and he conjugates his sentence, whatever, uses I've or I'd instead of I have and I had or whatever. But he's also got a twitch. He goes like that from time to time. And he ingratiates himself, but he's a baddie, and he takes Data's place, and because we learn it were him that got in touch with the crystalline entity, and told that about the colony, and lured it there to kill all the colonists, because he's mental and he's a baddie. And he's going to do it again. So the crystalline entity comes to the Enterprise, and Law and Data have a face-off in the cargo bay. That's Data, by the way. He'd switched clothes, and Law's in his clothes. But there's a mistake at the end. Well, I think it's a mistake, but anyway, we'll get there. And Law ends up being blown out into space. Because remember, it's the there we go. TOS era stuntmen who look nothing like the people they're supposed to be. They transport him out into space. Use the transport. Do they transport him out? Yes, they transport him out into space. I thought they blew him out. Transport him out into space. Just as they were about to fire that phaser. They see Data do a twitch, but Law had made him so he did twitch, so they thought it were Law. But anyway, but then the crystalline entities, there, or is it just going? It's leaving, isn't it? I think. But anyway, whatever. But we see it again. Hang on, just a minute. Got to find the mistake. Go back again. Data conjugates a thingamabob, and he's not supposed to be able to. Data, you all right? Here we go. I'm fine, he says. He shouldn't have said that, should he? Should have said, I am fine. See, they made a mistake right at the end. Or was that deliberate to make us think it might still be, some of Law's tampering has affected him? Don't know. But nothing comes of it. Nobody goes, oh, he said I'm instead of I am. I don't think they noticed. Anyway, off they go to the next adventure. It's fine, it's Date, because we're introduced to Law, who's a good bad guy who we'll meet again. Now then, I don't think we'll meet him again till, is it season 6? Is it Descent Part 1? Is that when we meet? Because he gets picked up by Packleads, doesn't he? So is it really? No, because we see him again in Brothers, don't we? Yes, the episode Brothers. Or is it Family? Or is it Brothers? I can't remember. Yes, we see him again. But that's not till season 4, is it? But anyway, we don't see him for quite some time. Anyway, next episode is Angel 1. Which is this one? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is terrible. This is a bad one. This is a bad one. They picked up a distress signal or something from a freighter that's gone down on the planet of Angel 1. But it's like something 5 years or something since it crashed or something like that. So they're arriving to rescue the people on the freighter. Anyway, they get to the planet and they learn that it's a matriarchal society, again with shitty clothes, terrible costumes in season 1. It's like it still thinks it's the original series, doesn't it? That's what I think. But anyway. We learn it's the women that are in charge and the men, do all the menial stuff, but it's the women that are all the clever people. Behave yourself. Are you being naughty? Don't you be knocking things over? Or you get in trouble? Sorry, my cat. Anyway, so we learn that the men from the freighter, or the crew from the freighter, bloody cat, the crew from the freighter was stirring up trouble, and they've gone to live out in the wilderness or whatever, and they've taken wives, and they see them as a problem, these women in charge, and cool, by the way, cool matte paintings and stuff. Anyway, they don't want to leave. They find them, they locate them, but they don't want to leave. There we go. They come across them and said, we've made a life here. Why would she leave? We've got families. Riker does his Kirk stuff, his seducers. Basically, the president of the planet. But here we go. They find the crew of the freighter. They don't want to leave because they're happy there, essentially. And but they get captured by the security forces, and they're going to execute them. Because the dissidents or seditionists or whatever, but obviously Picard and Riker talk them out of it, and tell them just because they're men, it doesn't mean the second class citizens. It's an allegory. So they decide to let them live, and everyone's happy. And off they go to the next adventure. There we go. Rubbish. I don't like that episode. That's a rubbish episode. But I do like this one. Next one is, I can never remember how many ones and zeros. 11001001. Or Lulul. This is where we meet the Binars. And Space Dock. Yes, I forgot about this. But it's not, though. It's Starbase something or other. What does it say? Which Starbase are we at? Come on, tell us. Captain's log started 41365.9. Which Starbase they arrived at? 74. Cool. It's obviously just a reuse of Space Dock from Star Trek 3, isn't it? But obviously it's got bigger doors because the Enterprise can fit in. But it is cool because we see the Enterprise going in, the Enterprise D, and it actually looks better than I think the effects look better than in Star Trek 3. But anyway, there it is. In it comes, super cool. Anyway. It's no Starbase 80. No, it's not, is it? Anyway, so the Binars are coming on board. The Enterprise is basically going to get some maintenance. It kind of reminds me a bit of Starship Mine, that episode, where the crew, or a lot of the crew are leaving for a bit of rest and relaxation on the Starbase, and others are coming on board to sort stuff out. They also use this in the VC. Do they? Oh, cool. This base, this star base. Cool. Anyway, these are the binars, and who are mentioned in Enterprise, aren't they? Dr. Phlox mentions the binars. There they are. They're a race that have, implants and to help their thoughts and stuff like that, and communication. This is what Elon Musk wants us all to be like, basically. Anyway, so they can all chill out for a while now. There we go. They're heading for. They're going to go play Parisi Squares. Is the security things from security officers from the Enterprise are going to play Parisi Squares against the people from Starbase 74 or whatever. Riker's headed into the holodeck and is going to go to a bar or something in a bit. There we go. They've been upgrading the holodeck of the binars. So in he goes, and it's where he meets Minuet. Hang on. There she is. There she is. There's Minuet, who's got amazing eyes, I must admit. Obviously, Riker falls in love with her. She's a very special hologram, or a special program, created by the binars, because they're up to no good, essentially. It turns out there's been a disaster on the binars' home planet, and they need the Enterprise computer, so they've got everybody off the Enterprise, or they think they have. They're going to steal it. They're going to steal the Enterprise because they need Enterprise's memory core to essentially back up all their memories, because the disaster's happened. So they're using her as a distraction, for Riker. And anyway, so they steal the Enterprise when there's hardly any crew left on board. But obviously, Picard and Riker suss it all out, and then we've got the binars. They start the auto-destruct. The binars are passing out because of this disaster. But they said you could have asked. We'd have helped you. So you might have said no, but everything works out fine. There we go. They arrive at the binar thing place, and they tell them what to do. Or maybe Minuet tells them what to do. But they downloaded all their memories into the Enterprise computer, and then Riker and Picard re-upload them back into the binar central computer, and everything. All the wake up, and everything's cool, and they think nothing of it, and they just head back to Starbase 74. There we go, and everything's cool. But then Riker goes back to the holodeck, hoping to meet Minuet, and she's not there. It's somebody else. Was an equally lovely person, I'm sure, but it's not Minuet, is it? Minuet's gone. She was a very special program. But we do see Minuet again, but only in a photo. She's mentioned in season 5. Can't remember, but in the later season. It's a decent episode. Is that one? 11001001. It's okay. It's I don't know. It's a fun. I keep saying this, though. It's a fun episode, but it is. It's a straightforward episode, and with no baddies in it. Although they kind of, suggest that the binars are the baddies, but they're not. They've got no choice. Or my cat's acting up, but they've got no choice in what they do. So, and everything works out fine. So there we go. So that's that one. Cool. Now, next up, Too Short a Season, which is this one. Which is it? Is this the Bags of Mostly Water? Is it? Oh, no, it's not. It's not that one. Oh, this is the one, isn't it, with, what's his face? Forgot his bloody name now. Yes, Mark Thingamabob. Mark Jamieson, Admiral Mark Jamieson. That's that one, isn't it? I'm not a fan of this one either. But anyway. Right, so a hostage crisis on this planet where he's in charge. He trained Drago in Rocky IV, didn't he? Don't ask me his name. But there's a hostage situation, and only Admiral Mark Jameson can negotiate it. But he's really old. Here he is. Hang on, they're going to show him. He's really old in his Christopher Pike style wheelchair. But there he is. He can hardly walk. He's like 1,000,000 years old. But you can obviously see he's played by a younger actor with just lots of makeup. But anyway, it turns out he's got some cool thing that he injects, and it makes him young. He keeps getting younger as the Enterprise goes on because he's got this drug or something from another planet, and it's making him younger. Anyway, there he is. But he keeps having these, like, not heart attacks, but like pains every time he uses it, and it's going to kill him, he thinks, but it's making him younger. There he is, getting younger all the time. So he's got to go and mediate with this hostage crisis, but it turns out it's all fake. It's not a really hostage crisis, and the fella that trained Drago in Rocky IV, he just wants him, Jameson, back at this planet to kill him for revenge, because he did something years earlier that started a civil war, basically, and led to a gazillion deaths. And he falsified his Starfleet reports, did the Admiral. So he's not a good guy, but anyway, so the beam down, and stuff happens, and he tells there's no hostages, and it's all a ruse to get him here because I want to kill him. I want my revenge, but you're not going to get it because he's dying anyway. So there we go, and that's about it, really. There we go. I'm sorry for what I did, and then he dies, and there we go. The end. It's crap. I don't like this episode. I don't like that episode. So we'll gloss over that and we'll move on. What's next? When the Bow Breaks, which is this one. Is this the Ugly Bags of Mostly Water? No, it's not that one either, is it? Home Soil, that's that one, isn't it? I think, is it? Oh no, it might be a different one. I can't bloody remember. It's this one. It's another one that I'm not a fan of. This is a planet that uncloaks itself. It's like this mythical planet. Yes, and also we're introduced to this kid who doesn't want to do calculus, but his father says, "You're doing calculus," and beats him in front of Riker. He don't really. I'm lying, but he should have done. Do your calculus. I don't even know what calculus is. I'm a rubbish at maths at school. Oh, what? I never understood logarithms. How can 1 + 1 equal, 2.4? I don't know. I don't understand logarithms. They just made that up. Anyway, so they're all excited about this planet, and it appears, it uncloaks. Is it going to do? Oh, for God's sake! Is it going to uncloak? Look, they're all looking at the view screen. Oh, look, he's smiling because he's all excited, is Riker. Come on, show us it. It's Aldea, Captain. It has to be. Come on, show us then. It's not going to show us, is it? There we go. Are you going to appear? There it comes. Look, it's decloaking, look. There it is. The planet decloaks. Right, so these people on Aldea, they've become sterile, and they're all like pasty, and they don't like the light and all that stuff. It turns out that because of the cloak or whatever, it's the radiation from the cloak or whatever has turned them sterile, so they can't have children, so they're dying out. So they essentially steal some kids from the Enterprise. And we see Jerry, what's his face? There he is, Jerry Hardin. There he is. We see again in. It's probably been in a few episodes, but Um, Notably, is here and again in Times Arrow. He plays um, Mark Twain in Times Arrow, but might be more noted as Deep Throat in the X Files, season 1 of the X Files. Anyway, so they basically kidnap some kids, including Wesley, because they want these kids. There we go, and they hand over these kids to various people. Um, the people on Aldea, by the way, they don't do any work, and they're all artists and stuff. They're either painters or sculptors or musicians or whatever, because they don't need to work because it's another original series trope. It's a computer that controls everything. Anyway, so they've got to find a way to get the kids back. But it's not as easy as you might think. But obviously they do. Oh, yes, they've got super duper powers, and they send the Enterprise 100 light years away or whatever, and it's going to take them several days to get back. So in that time, they've got to get to know these kids, and the kids obviously don't want to be there. They want to go back home, but they're trying their best to make be nice to these kids. The prisoners, I suppose, but they've kidnapped them. Anyway, basically they get the kids back, and Beverly susses out what's happened to them and says, I can cure you. There's a treatment, but it'll take time and all that stuff. And there we go. Like I said, they sort it out, and Bob's your uncle. That's the end. They get the kids back. Or one of the kids gives Picard some flowers. Well, whatever. It's crap. I hate that episode when the bow breaks, because it's got kids in it, and I hate kids. I'm dreading getting to Rascals. I'm dreading that episode. But anyway, thankfully that's a long way off. Moving on, number 17. Home soil. This is one I like. Ugly bags of mostly water. I think it is. Is it? Yes, it is. Yes, this is ugly bags of mostly water. They've arrived at this planet where there's like a science station, and it's General Gogol from James Bond. If we see him in a minute, there he is. There he is, General Gogol from James Bond. He's the head scientist, and he's saying, we don't need any help. Bugger off. It's a bit like Morbius from Forbidden Planet. Go away. We don't need any help. But said, well, tough. We're here. So right, fair enough. So they beam down. He says, sorry for being horrible, but anyway, while they're there, a man dies. It shows them what they're doing. They're basically trying to terraform the planet. That's what they're hoping to do. But there's obviously something amiss going on. They're hiding something, and Troy's saying they're hiding something. But anyway, a fella dies. Is he going to show it? There he is. He dies. He gets some laser or something, goes crazy, and it kills him. And behave yourself, you. Don't be knocking these over. Do you want to go out? I think my cat wants to go out. I'll go let her out. Bear with me. Win Grace. Girl from Ipanema time. Oh, got me. Bloody knees. Ow. Want to go out? Come on. Okay, I'm back. She didn't want to go out. She just wanted to eat something to eat. But she's not eating. She's just sitting, staring into space. Anyway, these lasers here, something, crazy went wrong with them, and it turns out they were being controlled by a life form on the planet that's got silicon based or something, or crystalline based, or whatever. And they'd been killing them, but not intentionally. He kind of knew about it, but he didn't want to believe it, did the head scientist, that there were life in the crystals. But they've taken over the the computers and stuff like that. And so anyway, they beam one of them up to the Enterprise. There we go. And it starts reproducing. It starts off as one light, and then becomes two lights. There are two lights. And then it starts communicating, and they use the universal translator. Oh, excuse me. They use the universal translator, and they can talk to them. And this is where they start calling us ugly bags of mostly water. And so they broker a peace deal when they realise what's going on. And she's in it. And hang on, where are we? This officer here, she's an ensign. And how old is she? Did she enrol into Starfleet late in life, or is she just that crap she's never been promoted? And if so, why is she on the Enterprise? That was probably the best of the best. Or she's the Harry Kim of the Enterprise D, isn't she? But I don't know if we saw her again. But, anyway, so they broker a deal, and everything's sorted out, and they decide, they're not gonna, the aliens aren't gonna kill everybody, and they're all gonna, leave the planet, leave it alone, and they're gonna go off and do something elsewhere, and that's it. That's the end of that episode. And it's okay. It's an okay episode because it's life not as we know it. There we go. Declared an indefinite quarantine for Velara 3. So, unless somebody else arrives, I suppose. They can only do it for the Federation, can't they? But what if somebody else arrives there? Maybe it's deep inside Federation space. I don't know. But anyway, whatever. It's a decent episode. It's a home soil because it's, as I said, life, but not as we know it. Way worse, hotter. What? Anyway, moving on. Coming of age. I quite like this one, to be honest. I think the first time I saw it, I didn't like it. But when I watched it, this week, I actually thought it were okay, which is weird, with it being a Wesley episode. It's the Horta story, but not as good. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, yes, I see what you mean, yes. I thought you meant they were way worse than the Horta, these aliens. But yes, it's another retread, isn't it? Yes, of a original series episode. It was trying to move away from the original series, but they just keep redoing the stories from the original series, don't they? So yes, you're right there. Anyway. Right, so there's an exam coming up for Wesley. It's going to a test for him to join the academy, but there's only one place this year, and this lad failed, and for some reason just decides to steal a shuttle later on. What an idiot. Anyway, right, so Wesley's going to beam over to this station and do these tests. And Admiral Quinn and Dexter Merrick. I think it's Dexter Merrick, is it? See, I'm blanking. Coming of age. This is kind of the first inkling. Yes, Dexter Remick, not Merrick, Remick. The first sort of like a multi-episode arc, but just lasts for 2 episodes. But it was kind of cool. He beams over and his Remick's gonna interview the crew. and see how they're doing and all that stuff. So they think some things are missing Starfleet, um, but anyway, so it doesn't ingratiate himself with the crew, does Remick. Nobody likes him. Anyway, meanwhile, he's going to do his tests, and he's up against these others. A young, a girl, whatever he is, I've forgotten, but who he befriends, and there's a Vulcan as well. Anyway, so they're the ones he's fighting against to get into the academy. Meanwhile, Remick, nobody likes him. Well, there he's interviewing Riker and being aggressive. And later on, Quinn says, there's something rotten in the heart of of Starfleet. So it's an inkling that we're going to, when we get to conspiracy, the episode conspiracy later, it's to do with that. Anyway, he who failed the exam thing steals a shuttle and just flies away for some bizarre reason. But then something goes wrong and they get him back, and he's like, "I'm an idiot. I'm sorry." And I said, "Well, you'll never get into Starfleet now, mate. You dickhead." Meanwhile, on in the station, Wesley shows how he knows about these different. He's an alien apparently. Behave yourself, this bloody cat of mine. Right. Bloody go out now, can I? Go on, yeah. Go on. Yeah, yeah. Have you gone? Are you going? Oh, look at you then. Oh, she's doing my head in, is that cat? She don't want to go out. She wants to go out, but it's too cold, and so she doesn't want to go out. Bloody animal. Where were we? Oh, this fella's, I don't know, some sort of alien. He's from another world, and so he's got to be aggressive with him, and all that stuff. But anyway, whatever. He's still interviewing people and not being very nice. Blah blah blah. Anyway, they're going through the different tests. There's Quinn saying there's something wrong with Starfleet, etc. See you later, mate. See you later. Thanks for staying as long as you did. To 2 hours. I'm getting there, though. I'm getting there. Right, so the last test now, and Wesley hears an explosion. He's waiting. He thinks the test's going to start, and then he hears an explosion. He helps these people out, and but he can only help one person. So he drags him out and says, you've got to get yourself out. I can only help this man. So he helps one person. It turns out that was a test, and Wesley made the right choice. They want a right or a wrong choice. He made the decision to save one person, and that was the right test. It was just a test, Nobody were really hurt. So that's that, right? Anyway, and the upshot of the testing system is that Wesley fails. She comes last, I think. But the Benzite chap, he's going to the academy. And the Vulcan woman as well. He wins, so he's going to the academy, and Wesley and all the others have got to try next year because there's only one a year. Anyway, but Wesley's probably thinking, I don't care, I'm on the Enterprise anyway. I'm having exciting adventures, whatever, and all that stuff. So there we go, and that's the end of that. And he says, keep an eye out, Jean-Luc, because something's going to happen later in the season. So off they go to the next one. It's not a bad episode. It's not the best, but it's it's okay. Right, next up, Klingons, Heart of Glory. They find a Klingon ship. No, they don't. I'm lying. They don't find a Klingon ship at all. They find a freighter that's damaged in the neutral zone, and some Klingons on board. I think the rest of the crew's dead, and so they bring them back, and one of them's badly injured. I swear they're using they've attached. Cat is being naughty. The Geordie's attached a thing, so we can see what he sees, and it's just a gimmick, isn't it? I don't think they use it again, or maybe they do. I don't know, but anyway, just so that we can see what he sees. So they're going through this ship looking for survivors, and they find these Klingons. One of them's badly injured. They beam them over just in time, and there they go. And I think this is Admiral Forrest, Vaughan Armstrong, I think. Let me check. In one of his many alien roles in Star Trek. Yes, it is Vaughan Armstrong as Corris. So there we go. Thought it was him. So they're getting to know Worf and all that stuff. And but he dies. Does this Klingon? I've missed it. There we go. He dies. So he opens it, keeps his eyes open, so that they're going into Stover Core. But I don't think they call it that. I don't think they've made that bit up yet. To the Klingon afterlife or whatever. Because at this point, obviously, Klingon traditions, hadn't been really, set down. The stuff that we know that come in, but anyway. So, but they do their roaring, which is kind of cool. Because these spirits, entering the afterlife. Anyway, but the Klingons obviously are up to no good, and they want to basically. By the way, they're in the neutral zone, the Romulan neutral zone. Pardon me. And the Klingons are up to no good, but you know what? I can't remember what they're doing. Why are they there? I've forgotten. Why are the fugitives? That's it. But I can't remember why. Why are the fugitives? Honestly, can't remember. Just bear with me. I don't know why the fugitives. I can't remember. The fugitives, anyway, from the Klingon Empire, and they want to take the Enterprise and go and conquer the Klingon Empire in the Enterprise. Well, that's not going to happen. But anyway, a Klingon ship appears. Is it going to show it? Hang on, just bear with me. Oh dear. Come on, Netflix, bloody hell. Anyway, a Klingon ship appears. I'm trying to bloody show it on the screen. I think it's a Katinga class, I think. So it's an old one. It's not a Vorcha class that we see later. It's not going to bloody show it, is it? Anyway, this other Klingon ship appears and says that, they're fugitives and they're going to be executed and all that stuff. And, there it is, look. For Pete's sake. There it is. It's an old one. It's not a that's a Vorcha class cruiser. It's an old Katinga class. I wonder if they just used, assets from the motion picture, probably. Anyway, so they're going to escape from the brig or whatever, or confined to quarters, and they escape, and they're going to try and take over the Enterprise, and obviously Worf persuades them not to, or kills them, and yes, they die, he kills them, and says, they are dead, and says, right, fair enough, off we go, and a nice Worf episode, and off they go on to another mission, where we learn a bit about Klingons, and Worf, his loyalties lie with Starfleet and not with some renegade Klingons, and it's fine, it's a decent episode. Next up, Arsenal of Freedom. Is this the one with, I can't remember his name, Vincent Schiavarelli, something like that? Is it that one? Oh. Bear with me. It was in Ghost. There's been loads of stuff. It was in a James Bond film. Vincent, Schiavelli. Yes, that's the one. And Julia Nixon, as well as Ensign Lian Su. Anyway, they arrive at a planet, and an automated message appears saying, "Welcome to this world." I can't remember what it's called. But here to, if you're here to buy weapons, we've got the bestest weapons ever. There he is, Vincent Schiavelli. So there we go. Beam on down. We've got all the best weapons. So, but there's nobody on the planet. There's no life forms. So, anyway, it's one of those. It turns out, they were that good at making weapons that the weapons wiped everybody out, sort of thing. But they get trapped. The away team gets trapped on the planet, by the weapons that are there. Which is why it's called Arsenal of Freedom. And there were another ship that were there. That got destroyed because they find the wreckage of this other ship, and he's the captain of it, but it's not him. He's just like a hologram that the weapons are using to try and trick them. We saw Julia Nixon there. There she is. In a minute. There she is. She's been in Babylon 5, and she was in Rambo 2, a film which she's not proud of being in. But anyway, never mind. So, they're trapped on this planet, and like I said, shooting at the weapons and stuff that are coming to get them. And Picard and Beverly, they beam down, but then something happens. They fall in a big hole, and she gets hurt. And I think they agree to buy some weapons, but it's not quite that easy. And but obviously, they sort it all out. Where is he now? Can't remember. But anyway, they sort it all out, and everything's hunky-dory. And they escape the weapons. I think there's one in space as well that's coming to get them. Essentially, another computer that they've got that's in charge of everything that they've got to override or destroy or whatever. But anyway, the Enterprise has to enter the atmosphere to destroy the weapon that's coming for them or something. But they sort that out. I think they separate. Yes, they do. What can I say? I think they separate the ship again. I forgot about that. Because Geordie's in charge. Yes, that's it. They put Geordie's in charge. So he's the acting captain. Because remember, Picard and Riker are both on the surface. So Geordie's next in command, and Data as well is down on the surface. So Geordie's got to make these big decisions, which he does, and it's all exciting and stuff. Look, so doing all this cool stuff, and he's really, really good. But then he goes to engineering in the next season. So he had like command potential, and then he buggers off to be chief engineer, but never mind. Anyway, so that's sorted out. Off to the next adventure. It's not bad. It's not a bad episode, but it's not great either. But, it exists. Symbiosis. Oh, this is the drug episode, isn't it? With Judson Scott and Merritt Buttrick from Star Trek 2. But at least Merritt Buttrick got a credit in Star Trek 2, and Judson Scott didn't. Because his agent were rubbish. I think he sacked his agent after that, but anyway. Right, they arrive at this planet. No, they find a ship or something, don't they? That's damaged, and the people on this other planet, the Brecker and the thingamabobs. Does it say? Hang on. Right, where are we? Brecker and, come on, tell us the bloody names of them. Onarans, that's it. The Brecker and the Onarans. I think the Brecker, I can't remember which is which now. Yeah, the Brecker are these, like, they seem advanced people. The Onarans are kind of, they've got a plague, and only the Onaran, no, the Breckons are making the only source of medicine for this plague that can be made on Brecker. So anyway, they rescue these people from this freighter, and they seem not well. And Beverly Crusher works out that the symptoms they're showing is like drug addiction. They're like, going cold turkey. They need this drug. And the Onarans won't let them have this drug because they said they haven't paid for it. So they're basically the drug dealers. And it's all about addiction and stuff like that. And let's say, and all that stuff. And it's, it's not a great episode, to be honest. But, it's getting a point across, I suppose. Drugs are bad. But it turns out they don't need, there isn't a plague anymore. The plague, I think the medicine did cure the plague, but then they became dependent on the drug. And so the Breckons essentially used that so that the Onarans would make all these technology, because I think the Onarans were more technologically advanced. The Breckons, weren't as advanced. So the Onarans basically make everything for the Onarans. So they can live in, luxury, while the Breckons are just running round making everything for the Onarans, so that they can get the drug and make them happy. Not happy, but make them feel as though they're going to survive. So that's what it is. And obviously, they can't let that continue, can they? And I can't remember what happens at the end. Yes, they basically let them have the drugs, but they're not going to let them, get any more, because they won't fix the ship. That's it. The ship's broken, the freighter, and the Enterprise won't mend it, and they won't mend the ships that are on Onara either, so that they can't get the medicines to and from Brecker. So they basically say, well, you'll have to go cold turkey then. You'll have to wean yourself off the drug, but you'll be fine. There's no plague, and that's how it ends. And the Onarans are saying, but we need the Breckers to do things for us. Well, you'll have to do it for yourself. That's another original series style of episode, isn't it? So there we go. So, yeah, I don't like that one. It's poo. Next up. Skin of Evil, the dreaded episode where we lose Tasha Yar. Spoilers, right? They're Deanna Troi and another fella are in a shuttle, and it crashes on this planet, and so the Enterprise, heads out there, and they beam down to the planet where the shuttle's crashed, and they find, for Pete's sake, they find that there's this oil slick in the way. There we go. Not a very well animated oil slick. Is it CG or is it hand animated? I don't know, but I know it's 1987. There was CG, wasn't there? But do you think it's like hand painted? I don't know, but anyway, this oil slick that won't let them get to the shuttle, and Anyway, so they don't know what's going on, but it turns out it's alive and it's called Armus and it's going to pop up in a minute and kill Tasha. Here he comes. Here he comes up out of the oil, and it won't let him get to the shuttle. And Tasha just says, "Oh, we've got to get to the shuttle," and she rushes it basically. In a minute, they go the fire at it. Oh, hang on. After it's got Tasha, look, she's going to say, "We have people who need attention," and she's going to go running in where angels fear to tread. There, and boo! There we go. And he's killed Tasha Yar by putting some weird birthmark on her cheek for some reason. But anyway, she's dead, and they beam her up, but they can't do anything. They shoot at him, does nothing. He sinks back down into his pool. There you go. What's Lieutenant Yar's condition? Go on, say it. Say it, Beverly. She's dead, Jim. Anyway, she's dead, Jim. So, anyway, then they can't do anything for her. There you go. She's got. There she is with the. Oh, for Pete's sake, I'm going to land on her. There she is. Don't know what that's supposed to represent. Don't know. But anyway, she's dead because Denise Crosby didn't want to do it anymore. She didn't think they were writing enough stories for her. I mean, it's an ensemble show, isn't it? At least she got some stuff. She got Code of Honour and some others where she featured prominently. I think she was just being greedy, and she regretted it, I think. She did return, obviously, as Sealer in future seasons. Anyway, so she's dead. They can't do anything for her. She's dead. So right, that's it. Anyway, they've got to find a way to get past Armus, and we learn that another race. I don't know if it's mentioned what they're called. Bear with me. I don't know if it's mentioned the name of the other race. I was watching it. I was thinking, I wonder if it's. But I forgot what I thought. Anyway, it doesn't. I don't know if it says. Can't remember. Anyway, whatever. This other race became like advanced, and they found a way to separate their evil parts from them, and basically get rid of it, so that they became good. And only good. I don't know. But anyway. And they abandoned Armus, the evil part of this race, on that planet as an oil slick. And he wants to get off, obviously, but he won't let them get to the shuttle. And she's injured. Well, she's not injured. The other fella's injured. She's all right, but she's scared, obviously. Oh, my Riker gets dragged into the oil slick, but it lets him out again not because it's good, just because it's bored of him. And anyway, basically, Picard outwits it. Says it's not gonna help it, but they find a way that if it gets it angry, it's put like an energy field around the shuttle. They can't beam him out. So if Picard provokes Armus enough, it'll get him angry and it'll weaken the energy field so they can beam out Troy and the other fella. And that's what they do. And they leave Armus there, roaring at them. He's still trapped on the planet. And because they beam out them and then beam out him, and they're wailing and screaming. So he's still trapped there. I wonder if they've put back on the original series set, by the looks of it. I wonder if they'll put a thing in orbit saying, "Don't land here." Anyway, this is where they go and do the little remembrance service for Tasha, and it's all very emotional. I must admit, I did get a little bit lip quivery because I'm a soft bugger, but so there we go, and as it shows that. Nobody's immortal in Star Trek, but she does come back as Sealer later. Anyway, so there we go. That's it. A good episode. This is a good episode, and it's a shame we didn't see Armus again. Win Grayson, if he were here, probably tell me, yes, he did pop up somewhere else, but I don't know. Right, moving on. We'll always have Paris. Now, which is this one? This is where Picard meets an old flame, innit? But I forgot what the story is. Tell you. Which is this one? Oh, it's a time thing, isn't it? Yes, there's a time travel, not time travel, but it's like a time glitch story, isn't it? Right. So the Enterprise is it's where we see Captain Picard sword fencing. We see him do that later, and then in Iborg, don't we? His sword fights with Guinan, doesn't he? Anyway. A weird glitch happens, and they do something again. They repeat it again, and as though something weird's happened. There's like been a hiccup in time. So they head out to this planet where they think it's coming from. Pardon me. And it turns out that the scientist there, Paul Mannheim, his wife, is the old flame of Picard. And excuse me. He was supposed to meet her in Paris, I don't know, 15 years earlier or 22 years earlier, whatever. And he didn't meet her there. He stood her up because he got scared. And I don't think he's spoken to her since. And he's on the holodeck. He's recreated that scene. That's not her. Anyway, I think there's another thing happening, and it's like an expanding bubble where it's affecting other systems as well. Is this time hiccup, and because he's done an experiment. There she is. That's his old flame, and Mannheim's injured. They've got him in sick bay, and there he is. And but he's fine. They sort it out, and he kind of don't rekindle his romance with her, but they have a reunion, but he doesn't understand why she's staying with him. But anyway, Data's got to go down. The reason that it's doing this time, the equipment's still working, and Data's got to go down and fix it, which he does. Obviously, there it is. Look, he sorts it out. Turns off the experiment because they couldn't do it. Turned it on and all went doolally, and he got hurt. So it was still running, which is why the time things are still happening. It's like a deja vu, that repeat themselves for a few seconds. It's like that. Anyway, so there we go. So there, she says, "You go off in your starship, and I'll stay here with him, etc." Whatever. Whatever. That's it for that episode. Whatever. Next. Hey, conspiracy. I love this episode because it's mental. It's mental. This is obviously carrying on from the other episode where we saw Admiral Quinn. Picard gets a code 47 message from Walker Keel, Captain Walker Keel of the something or other. I can't remember what his ship is in. But here he is. He says, "Something's wrong. Meet me on this planet and we'll talk about it." So off he goes to this other planet. Beams down by himself, and he meets not only Walker Keel, who doesn't come out first, but we meet Michael Berryman as a Bolian, Captain Rix, and then we also meet Tryla Scott. There's Walker Keel. We meet Tryla Scott as well. Does it show her? Oh, for Pete's sake, never mind. There she is. No, it's not showing it, is it? There she is. Tryla Scott, the youngest youngest person to be made captain or something, because she's that good. Turns out she's not. But anyway, so he's saying something's wrong with Starfleet, weird orders and all this stuff coming from Starfleet Command, and then officers have been placed in certain positions, and something's going on, and they don't know what it is. They said basically, don't trust anybody. So they head back to Earth. Does the Enterprise? So off they go back to Earth to see what's happening. Data is tasked with checking what's going on, going through all the orders that have been sent to all the ships and stuff like that from Starfleet Command. That's his task. Right, so they arrived at Earth. There's Admiral Quinn and a couple of other admirals. I don't know. He was in High Chaparral, wasn't he? I can't remember his name. Just bear with me. Hey dear. Henry Darrow, yes, as Admiral Savard. Yes, he was in High Chaparral. Played Mano Montoya. I used to love High Chaparral when I was a kid. Particularly the theme. I think I like the theme music more than now. But anyway, so they've arrived back at Earth, and so they're going to beam down and have dinner with the admirals, and so down he goes. And then Admiral Quinn beams up to the Enterprise, and we see he's got a case, and there's something in it, and how's he going to show it? There's Commander Remick. I thought he'd had a promotion. I thought he was made full commander, but does that look like a full pip? But next time we see him, it's it's like a Lieutenant Commander pip. Maybe it's just the light. Anyway, he's got this little case, and it's got a thing in it, like an ear. It looks a bit like the, but different. Hang on, is it going to show it? There we go. It's got that in it. Look, it's all a bit like a SETI earworm thing, what they call it. SETI eel from Star Trek 2. A little bit, but different. But anyway. So, he's going up. It turns out he's an alien. Well, it's not an alien, but he's possessed by an alien, one of them. And it's them that's taking over Starfleet. They're possessing Starfleet officers. And he's taking that up. It's supposed to be for Beverly. For some reason. Don't know why Beverly, but he is. But he's beaming down. He's Picard. And this is where Riker has a fight with Admiral Quinn. And again, terrible stuntmen that look nothing like him. Look. He kicks the poo out of Riker. And he even fights Worf. It's all good fun. Here they come. He's gonna throw. They don't know Quinn is a bad guy yet, but he keeps giving himself up. I say he throws Geordie through the door. Don't you think we should wait? No, he just throws Geordie through the door. He's not very stealthy, is he? And then he, come on, Klingon, it's just you and me now. And he kicks the crap out of Worf as well, and Beverly shoots him with a phaser. And turns out you've got to have the phaser on kill, but he ain't killed. But anyway, whatever. Right. So anyway, Picard is getting ready to have dinner with the other admirals. Beverly gets in touch with him and tells him, something weird's going on. Riker's still unconscious, but he comes to, and they see that those that are possessed with these aliens have got this gill. They call it a gill. They call it a blue gill for some reason, sticking out the back of the neck. So anyway, they're all eating maggots. No, not maggots. The mealworms, aren't they? For some reason, no reason what. Why can't they just eat normal food? But no, they're eating mealworms. And it makes no sense. Look, we're eating mealworms. Look. Anyway, so they want to take over the Federation, And then Riker was beamed down, and he's pretending to be possessed. 'Cause one of them checks him, and he's got the thing at the back of his neck, but it's obviously he's not. And it's all a ruse. There he goes, eating the mealworms. Ooh, look. But he doesn't. He shoots them. We saw that Tryla Scott, she'd been possessed. She'd been taken over as well. I think it was her that caused Walker Keel's ship to explode. Because his ship had blown up, killing Walker Keel. Don't know what happened with Captain Ricks. Can't remember. Don't know if it mentioned him or not. Anyway, the shooter and the thing. Hang on. Where are we? Oh, I've missed it. Hang on. There we go. It comes out with some stop motion effects. It's trying to use it. It's a Vulcan, obviously, that's not very good at the Vulcan neck pinch, look. Because it doesn't work. Because he shoots him. So the longest thing longest time taken to do a Vulcan neck pinch. Anyway, shot him. So anyway, they go chasing after this thing. They go chasing after him. They shoot him, and then the thing comes out of his mouth. Is he going to show it? Another bit of stop motion. There it goes. It goes under the door. Yeah, I'm guessing Starfleet Command's not very drafty, but big gap under the door. Anyway, they go in and they see Commander Remick. I think it's the first time as well we see like the Federation and like a map of the Federation on Star Trek. Commander Remick's in his hang on, there we go, in his chair, and the thing goes up and goes in his mouth, and then he says, "We seek only peaceful." I forgot what he says now. Just a minute. Coexistence, that's it. We seek only peaceful coexistence. But he says it in a hissing way because he's a bad guy. So they shoot him, and then this bit, quite often gets edited out. If you're watching it through the day, if it's on normal TV during the day, this bit often gets edited out. Is it this bit? Here we go. Not that bit, obviously. The next bit, hang on, see, I've missed it. It's super gory. It's bizarre. I don't know what they were thinking. How do they think they get away with it? Look, blow his head up. How do they get away with that? And then it shows all gruesome goriness in a minute. Look, they keep firing. Look, proper gore. Open rib cage and everything. Anyway, this is the Queen alien, or the Mother alien, they called it. So they kill that, and that basically kills off all the others, and all those that have been possessed. The other aliens inside them die, and then they're okay. Admiral Quinn's fine, and it's all sorted. But they'd been sending a message out. There's no trace of the parasite, and they'd sent a message to somewhere. I don't know if they said where. I think was it somewhere in the Gamma Quadrant. I think this. I don't know. I might be thinking of something else. So there we go. But we won't get a reply for many years. And then it ends with just hearing the an unexplored part of the galaxy. That's all it says. We won't get a reply for many years. And then just emphasise it. We hear a beep, 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 beep thing. But I think they did go back to these, didn't they? These conspiracy aliens in the books or something like that. I'm not sure. Or maybe the comics. We don't see them again in the series, do we? But they don't mention them again, unfortunately. But I think it's there in the lore somewhere. See if it says. I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. Good episode. I love conspiracy. But it's not my favourite episode of season 1, to be honest. It's probably my second favourite episode because of the head exploding and all that stuff. But for me, my favourite episode of season 1 is the last one. It's Neutral Zone. Here we go. This is the final episode of season 1. I really like this episode, and I have no idea why. Maybe it's because the Romulans are back in it. Anyway, there we go. They find this It's like a satellite, I suppose you could say, um, near the Romulan neutral zone, and it's from Earth in the 20th century. They don't know how it's got there, and it doesn't explain it. They just say, "How did it get out here?" Don't know. It just did. Anyway, they go on board, and by the way, Picard's off the ship. He's on his way back. Um, but what's his name? Data beams over with Worf, and they find three people on board. Cryogenic suspension. Two men and a woman, and some of them are dead. So they beam them back over. There we are. There's one of them. She's an idiot. She is. It's not all there. Anyway, and it's got Peter Mark Richmond's in it as Ralph. Who like? Is he immortal? Is he still with us? I don't know. Let me check. Is always in everything he's been in. He's always looked the same. Hang on, just bear with me. He was in stuff in the 60s, and then he was in stuff in the 80s, and he looked exactly the same in all of them. I want to see if he's still alive. No, he's not still alive. When did he die? Not long ago, 2021. How old were he when he died then? 93. And I bet he still looked exactly the same. He's been in loads of stuff, but you know him when you see him, when we get to him. Anyway, they beam him over to the Enterprise. Then the captain comes back from his meeting or whatever and says, right, we're heading into the neutral zone for something or other. Oh, aye, because they lost contact with Federation outposts. A bit like, again, going back to the original series, Balance of Terror, where they lost contact with, new outposts along the neutral zone were under attack, weren't they? But anyway, so they're heading there. So they could be going up against the Romulans again. They haven't been in touch with for, I don't know, 53 years or something. I can't remember the exact time. Maybe it says here. No, it doesn't say, obviously. Never mind. Anyway, Beverly says, what about these people from this probe thing? And he says, what are you talking about? He says, Data beamed them over. And he says, Data, what did you do that for? He says, well, I couldn't leave them there. Whatever, fair enough. So anyway, they're fine. It turns out they were all essentially dead. They died in the 20th century, but they died of diseases that were easily curable. So she's cured them and brought them back to life. So anyway, one of them, the woman, she's a homemaker. She's just a housewife, and then the others. Hang on. Oh, she sees Worf and passes out because she's stupid. I'm going to show him. Oh, for Pete's sake! There he is, him. Who we see is played by, I've forgotten again, I'm useless, Leon Rippey. This is Leon Rippey, who, if you're a Stargate fan, he was in the original Stargate movie. He played General West, didn't he, I think? I'm going to have to check now. I'm sure he played General West in Stargate. Yes, he did. He played General West in Stargate. I thought so. He's a musician who died of, I don't know, liver disease or something. I don't know. And then Mark David Chapman is there he is. He's a financier. Not him. There he is. He's looked the same for whatever you see him in. He looks exactly the same. I'm sure he's immortal. I bet when he was 93, he looked exactly like that. Anyway, he's a financier, and he's very full of himself, and he's saying, I've got to get back to Earth and check my accounts because I'll be rich and all that stuff. But anyway, they say keep them out of the way, and obviously they interfere a little bit, not too much. They're not that bad. But anyway, Councillor Troy goes and helps the woman. I've forgotten the name. Claire Raymond goes and helps her find out if she's got any family in the 24th century. Anyway, she's thick. She keeps saying, "Oh, my son was called Tommy," and then she sees a picture of one of her descendants. Says, "Oh, that's Donald, my husband." So, no, it's not. It's one of your descendants. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, they come across some Romulans, and it turns out, they go to one of the outposts, and it's been. We don't see what's happened to it, but it's described that the outpost has been scooped off the planet. We see that when we get to the end of season 3, don't we? With what's happened when the Borg have attacked. So it's suggesting that the Borg have been here. Anyway, it turns out the same thing has happened on the Romulan side of the neutral zone. So the Romulans are going to appear and demand what's going on. There they are. It's the first time we see Romulan Dideridex class Warbird. Cool. And we see Mark Alemo. Is it going to show him? Here he is. The first time Mark Alemo, there he is, appears in Star Trek. We'll go on to play Gul Dukat in Deep Space Nine. And he's played other characters as well, obviously. But he's as a Romulan. And I bet everybody was saying, hang on, why have they got forehead ridges? Romulans shouldn't have forehead ridges, but whatever. 25% different, I suppose. I don't know. But now we've learned that he must be a Northern Romulan. Thanks to Picard. Star Trek Picard series. But anyway, so there's him saying he doesn't know what's going on because the Romulan is being all, stuffy about it, and he's not letting on, and he doesn't know, he's too arrogant to own up to that. Anyway, so the Romulans say we don't know what's going on and all that stuff, but we have been away too long, we are back, and all that stuff. It's all exciting and all that jazz, and they're going to drop them off. They're going to rendezvous with a starship that's going to take them back to Earth. It's going to take them a while to get back. Excuse me. It says that give them time to acclimatise. Anyway, end up, they're okay people. They don't cause much trouble. But the Romulans are back. But they've got to go for more adventures, etc. And that's the end of season 1. There we go. Doesn't end on a cliffhanger or anything like that. That's the end of season 1. Not the worst season, to be honest. Well, maybe it is the worst season, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. A bit. Some of the dialogue in it and some of the story handle it. A lot of callbacks to the original series, even though Roddenberry kept saying he wanted to avoid doing, referencing the original series, but they did it all the time. So. But anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of season 1 of Star Trek The Next Generation. Not bad. Some bad episodes in, that I didn't like. But don't mean, when I say bad episodes, I just mean episodes I didn't like. That doesn't mean they're bad episodes. But they weren't for me. They weren't my cup of tea. I think it was a pretty successful first season, to be completely honest. And I think it was pretty good. And I love Conspiracy because it's just mental. And that's it. We got a first hint at the Borg, even though I don't know if they knew it was going to be the Borg at this point. I don't know. Maybe they did. But anyway. So there we go. It's cool. And the Romulans came back. And we saw some Klingons as well. So there we go. Right. So, that's season 1 done with. Right. So, next time I'll be back doing this at part 6. I'll be, not next week, the week after. Let's say it's every 2 weeks I'm doing these. So we're up to season 2 when Beverly has buggered off to Starfleet Medical and gets replaced with Dr. Pulaski, Windgrace's favourite doctor, favourite Star Trek doctor. Anyway, so right, we'll leave it there. What's coming up next though? Because we're live, I keep forgetting. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Friday Night a Point with Fear this week. We're doing Blade, so that'll be fun. So right, we'll leave it there. So, as I said, I'll be back in 2 weeks for part 6, Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 2, The Rise of Pulaski. Some good episodes in that, and again, we see the Borg again. So that's something to look forward to. Right, we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. Hang on, where are we? Look after each other, and until next time, I'll say the...